Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm a manifestation coach. On this channel I teach the law of assumption as taught by Neville Goddard while also keeping it simple and practical so that you can take it and apply it to your manifestations right away. So if that's what you are looking for, you're definitely in the right place. Subscribe and stay for more. And in this video, I am going to answer all the questions that I received from you guys in the comments of the post that I had created exactly for this. I usually made videos, but this time I created a post instead, and that is what I'm going to do next time also. So what will happen is that I read each question and I answer it, and then I go one question at a time. And that is all. Thank you so much for your support and for being here with me and for sharing this experience with me. I really enjoy connecting with you guys, and by the way, before I start, I am so happy that I did this in the beginning of the channel, because as the channel is growing, it's going to be a bit more challenging to connect with every single one of you. And I did that in the beginning, and I'm going to continue doing it as far as it's possible, and so far it is, and I'm really enjoying it. So thank you for all your kind comments. I received so much positivity on this channel, and I'm really grateful for that. So let me just start with the questions, because this is what this video is about. Anna, so glad to see your followers increasing. Wish you all the success. Thank you very much. The questions are, how is it that we don't create but we manifest? And how are all manifestations equal? Example, if I want to work on eternal youth, then how much affirmation do I need? Because there is a strong belief in everyone that we will get old with time. How long do we need to meditate for such things? With this one, let me start with the second question. How are all manifestations equal, and how much do we need to affirm for this and that? Anything that you manifest, you need to affirm or do the mental work that you have chosen to do as much until it sinks into your subconscious mind. That is how all manifestations are equal, because from the point where your new story has sunk into your subconscious, it has to be expressed. That is the law. And your manifestations as an experience, as a process, if you will, are going to be different, because in the sense that, okay, I'm not contradicting myself, please stay with me. As an experience, it's going to be different because you have different types of beliefs and different amounts of limiting beliefs or opposing stories to the story that you are manifesting. So maybe it is going to be easier for you to manifest a free cup of coffee because you have not so many limiting beliefs about it and not a big opposing story about it. So it's going to sink in quicker and manifest faster. But if you are manifesting something like this, like eternal youth and health and well-being, and you have this belief that we are going to get old with time, and as you said in your comment, it is a belief, and the amount of work that you do is until it gets into your subconscious. I hope I'm making sense, because again, just to simplify it further, no matter what you are manifesting, you are going to affirm or do your mental work until it sinks in. Nobody on this planet Earth can tell you how long it will take. No one. Not me, not you, not any other coach, not Neville Goddard, not whoever. It depends on your attention. It depends on your dedication, on your discipline also. And this is where I want to mention something that I say often in different videos. When you are concentrated, when you are affirming, concentrated, the work that you will do will be less, because the full focus on your news story creates the state, which is what manifests eventually. So it helps if you are focused. So that is how all manifestations are different. Your mind doesn't care what you are manifesting. Whether you are manifesting $1 single or $1 million, it's the same for your mind. It's going to manifest it as soon as it gets in. The real struggle, human struggle, which it doesn't have to be, but sometimes it is to get it in there. And yeah, affirm until it feels true, and until it feels normal, until it feels like now this is your new belief, and you've done a great job. The next question, how is it that we don't create but we manifest? It's like, I am sure you have heard, and I must have mentioned it myself in other videos, that there are infinite versions of you. For example, there's a version of you who is with your specific person, there's a version of you who is not, and there's a version of you who, you name it. All this means that all those versions of you are already created. So you're not creating a new experience, you're just manifesting what is already created. That's simply what it means. That, for example, there's a version of you who believes that they get old with time, and God knows whatever limiting beliefs we all have, right? About age and different things. And then there's the version of you who is eternally youthful, healthy, physically strong, and whatever else you want. That version already exists, so you're not creating it. You're simply manifesting it into your experience. And thinking like this of all your manifestations, whether you're manifesting an SP, money, youth, health, it makes the manifestation, the idea of manifesting this thing, a bit easier on you, and a bit more possible when it seems impossible. So thinking that this is already created, this version of you who is with my person in this beautiful relationship already exists. So I'm just manifesting it, not creating it. It's created. So that's what it means. So next question, let me start with this one. When you loop a scene, is there a blank space for a few seconds in between the last moment and the beginning of the next loop, or do you skip from the last moment of your scene back to the beginning immediately? Yeah, I skip from the last moment of my scene back to the beginning immediately, to be honest. Maybe right in the beginning, when you are starting to visualize a new scene and you're sort of still getting used to it, there can be a few seconds of like concentrating and getting your attention back and starting over. But as it becomes natural, this scene you know exactly what you're going to visualize, or you should know it before you start your practice. But you know, there's sometimes a moment of what was it? Maybe in the beginning, maybe, but it's not part of your work. It's only just to calibrate and get back to your scene. But otherwise, no blank space for visualization. If you do that, there's nothing wrong with it. By the way, if that comes natural to you, that's not wrong. But no point in keeping a blank space. But again, if it helps, like there's nothing wrong with this. The idea of looping a scene is the repetition of it, the repeated experience of it, the repeated inner experience of it. So I hope this answered your question. So the next one. How do you really let go when revising, when it affects your day-to-day life? I want to use revision and not work with the circumstances, but I'm having a hard time with it since it affects my daily life. It feels like I can't ignore it, but I want to revise a situation to have never happened that caused me to be in the situation that I'm in. I am not sure what you mean when you say let go when revising. Let go of what? But apart from that, when you are revising a situation while being in it, it's just like keeping a mental diet. It's not different than that. With mental diet, what you do is when the opposing story comes up, when a negative story comes up, or when something happens in the 3D that you are trying to change, let's put it this way, you're stopping yourself and you're shifting your focus to your desire already fulfilled, right? That is exactly what you do with revision. Whenever the memory pops up, or whenever something happens in the 3D that reminds you of the unwanted version of that experience, you stop yourself, you go inside and you revise it. And this is a matter of, again, rehearsing the new version of your memory so much so that your mind accepts that as what actually happened. And again, concentration helps, focus helps. You can do this at nighttime. You can fall asleep to your... The question that I answered before was about visualization, that you loop and until your mind accepts it. You can do the same thing with revision and use it at nighttime, because when you're sleepy, there's less resistance, so your mind tends to accept it easier. Do it with focus, and during the day, do it just like you would do with affirmations. So it's simply about going inside and in that moment, just in the moment that you're doing it, accepting your desired version of the memory as true. Your mind will get you back to, no, that's not what happened. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Because this is, you need to have the same attitude with your revision as you do with affirmations, because your negative story, old story, will also come up when you're affirming for something new to happen, that, oh no, that's not never going to happen, because you're not that person, you're not that lucky, because past experiences, because this, because that. And what you do is that, no, that is not my experience. My experience is now that I am with my specific person, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am whatever. The same goes with revision. It's just the memory that you're changing instead of the current circumstances. The result is the same though. The result is when your memory has, when you have made your mind accept the new version of your memory, your current experience will be a result of your new version of your memory. So revision is a wonderful tool. So I really hope that I answered your question, because a lot of people shy away from revision. Revision is just like anything else that you do. With affirming or visualizing for something new to happen, you are rejecting a current story, a current experience, and you're repeating the new experience. That's exactly what you do with revision. You're rejecting past event as it happened, and you're creating a new event. And the way you do it is the same way. Every time it pops up, you shift it. Every time something happens in the 3D that applies that old unwanted event happens, you shift your focus to your new memory, though. So yeah, that's how you do revision. And do it at night. 2 sets. That helps a lot. The next one says, Anna, when you're focused on manifesting something big, something you really wanted that seemed unlikely to happen, how long did it take you to manifest into your 3D? Guys, all these questions about time, it differs from person to person, from manifestation to manifestation. This it's until you accept it. If you are manifesting something big, something that is big for you, and you can focus on it and accept it as true in one day, then that's how long it's going to take. If you waver, the one thing that makes manifestation take long is accepting your opposing story, giving into it, having resistance. Like I was talking to a client the other day that sometimes we really just give into, oh, I have so much resistance, I have opposing story, etc. Oh, it doesn't matter. If you can just, accept, it's fine. I have resistance and I have a lot of old stories and old limiting beliefs, etc. That's fine, I have it, but what to do? Like I can either focus and cry about that, or just simply, well, I know it's not simple. Trust me, I know that it can be hard sometimes, but focus on your end goal. The more you experience your end goal, the quicker it's going to happen. I continue reading the message. I'm attempting to manifest something that most people consider big. I don't care much about it, but I still want it. I've tried to do this before and I had weeks past. I didn't have a lot of resistance to it. Well, this is all about past experiences, etc. How can I speed this up? Should I affirm that this is happening lightning fast? That's an option. I've done that before and it worked like a charm, but I'm losing interest and faith in my manifestation ability, and I don't want to feel like I have to go above and beyond to manifest something specific. I'd love your take on this situation. Sorry for the long comment. Thanks for everything, Anna. You're welcome. If you have done something that has worked, do it again. If something works for you, that's your thing. Do it. Manifesting that things manifest quickly for you is one option, because we also have a lot of limiting beliefs about manifestation, that it has to take a long time, we need to affirm forever. All that is assumptions, and assumptions manifest. So if you're losing interest in your manifestation, there's nothing I can help with. You decide if you want it or not. But if something is taking a long time, either you are too focused on the whole story, sometimes without realizing you're doing it. So a lot of times you hear, and many of you are probably tired of hearing that you're more focused on the old story than on the new, but a lot of you are not doing it consciously. There's a very subtle thing that happens in the mind sometimes. Either that, or you're reacting too much to the 3D, or your focus is like, try to pay attention to whether you are actually imagining the end goal as you want it to be, or you're imagining things as they are. This is a big thing. A lot of people are not noticing that most of the time their mind is occupied, preoccupied maybe is the word, imagining the things as they are. And that's manifesting. Or there are limiting beliefs that you are not aware of or you're ignoring. So the reason can be many things, but the answer is always the same with manifestation. You need to focus so much on your end goal until it becomes an inner experience. And when it becomes an inner experience, it impresses on your subconscious mind. It creates this feeling of already having it. So you don't need to go above and beyond and do crazy things. It's only about that. So, but yeah, then you decide if you want it. If you're losing interest, no one makes you do it. Put your energy and effort on something that is more important to you. Either that, or you can, sometimes it's really good to manifest these things just to prove to yourself that, you can, and that experience is great. I have manifested weather-related things a couple of times, and that was huge for me, but completely unnecessary. Like, I didn't need it for my life to be successful, but the experience of oh my goodness, I can do that, really helps with your confidence as a manifester. So in that sense, maybe it's a great idea to give it a shot. But give it a shot just means go to the end and stay there. Maybe see what limiting beliefs you could have. Maybe your limiting belief is that this is too big and it's going to take a long time, because that's also an assumption. So I really hope that helps. The next question. Hello, Anna. Thank you so much again for this incredible gift of you taking the time and answering our questions. You are so welcome, and thank you for your questions. I really enjoy connecting with you guys, as I said in the beginning of this video. So my question is, how do we go ahead with manifesting a desire when the need to do the focusing work seems to fade? And how can we pinpoint the difference between losing interest in the desire or just losing the desire to do focusing work? Thank you so much in advance. So, interesting question. Sometimes, no, not sometimes, most of the time, when your new story sinks into your subconscious, you get into the state of already having it, so you don't think about your desire nearly as much. And you also don't feel the desire. But you need to understand whether you're being lazy. I'm so sorry for using this word, but sometimes that's a thing. Or if you have actually impressed your subconscious, because how does it feel to you? Does it feel like I'm still in luck? I'm very aware that I don't have it. I'm nowhere near believing that this could happen ever. Or is it, of course it could happen. Yeah, I'm pretty positive that it's about to happen anytime. These are different states. Plus, when you want to understand whether it's how did you put it? If you're losing the desire or losing the need to focus on it. If it came to pass right now, would you want it still? Because if you want it still, then it's not the desire that's fading. You still want it. But yeah, this is a tricky question. You know, I have a few additional questions to ask you to figure this out, but resistance sometimes can be a very tricky thing. Sometimes there's a complete subtle resistance at all times. It's so easy with resistance and negative story when it's loud. It's super uncomfortable, but you know it's there, you know what to do, you know when it comes up. But as you do the work, this resistance fades, but sometimes it's in the background and it's subtle and it's a little bit uncomfortable at all times in a way that you get used to it, so you don't notice it. Please pay attention if you have any type of resistance, resentment towards the current situation, because that puts you in a position or mindset that what's even the point? If you're in that type of state, then you either have some limiting beliefs that you are maybe not aware of and therefore are ignoring, or you are in the end state. Yeah, I really need to ask you some questions to figure out if you are actually in your end state or you are resisting the work. Do you believe that you can manifest this? You can't. Like, I can tell you as a coach that you can. But do you in this moment believe that you can manifest this? Because if you do, then you're doing a great job, and there's a chance you're in your end state. But I asked more questions than I gave you an answer, didn't I? I still hope that this helped, or it helped you to figure out actually which one it is. I hope I gave you some tools to figure out which one it is. So I need to go to the next question. By the way, for you who are watching, let me know in the comments of this this video if I answered your question, because this one was tricky. The next one, tricky. By the way, tricky because it's so much about you. This is not. It's so much about your current state, and I don't know you, and I don't know your story, and I really have some questions. Therefore, the next question. Hi Anna, thank you for doing another Q&A video for us. Congratulations on 800 subs. Thank you so much. I have some questions. Since health issues and diagnoses that are in my current state, would it be better to manifest parts of it? I also have a lot of contradicting stories attached to why I can't heal. Just to break it down and do this easier for you guys to follow, I'm going to answer one question at a time. Now, going to the end is always the best case scenario. It's the absolute best way of manifesting, but sometimes it creates resistance. When it creates more resistance than is helpful, it can be very helpful to go in steps. And sometimes it makes it even go quicker, your manifestation move quicker, because it removes a lot of the resistance. So that can be one possibility. For foods I cannot eat due to severe allergy and unbearable reactions to all food. Affirming. All foods is safe and good for me? Yes, why not? I've done affirming for so long, but it tends to cause more resistance. How would you go about impressing your subconscious mind, imagining that you can eat anything and everything, that you are thriving and feeling great? How would you deal with all the opposing stories that appear as facts? Thank you again. I always love these videos because there are gems in your answers to others' questions. You are so welcome. Now, a few things that I'm thinking about here. Affirm while in a relaxed state. I have a video on SATs that I'm going to link down below for everyone watching. When you are in SATs or any relaxed state, which is the same thing, SATs is usually used as something that you get into before you fall asleep, but it's the same when you're taking a nap. It's the same when you're zoning out during the day. It's the same when you're sitting just relaxing. You get into this relaxed state. When you are in that relaxed state, the resistance fades. Simply because your mind is too tired and sleepy to oppose you, so therefore it makes your job easier. So when you are affirming or imagining in that state, you are creating the best conditions for your subconscious mind to accept the story. So that is one thing. Another thing I'm thinking of here is to affirm or reaffirm the fact that you are manifesting through your own mind, and your mind can manifest anything. Include this in your affirmations. Start your day with that. Affirm it like it's a fact, because it is. But in that moment, when you affirm it like it's a fact, it reaffirms your belief in it. Whenever we have resistance to our manifestation, the doubt is also about manifesting. Because imagine if we had this unwavering doubt that our imagination manifests, and we can manifest anything with our imagination, including health and well-being, regardless of your current circumstance. That would be so helpful for all manifestations, because no matter what you're going through, knowing that your mind can do whatever, this is something that I myself come back to when there's any type of resistance. That, wait a minute, okay, I can see that I'm doubting this, it's horrible, it feels horrible, it looks impossible, but my mind is that infinite intelligence that knows everything and can do everything, which means that if I'm imagining something and persisting in it, it has to become true even though I cannot see how it could possibly happen. But luckily, it's not my job to see. So if you are incorporating this in all your manifestation processes, methods, and affirmations, and whatever you do, every time you remind yourself of this, that is very helpful. Another thing is really do it in sats. Do it in a relaxed state. Like you don't necessarily have to call it sats. It doesn't matter. But do it in a relaxed state. Do it focused. Because it is true that sometimes when you have a lot of resistance and you're affirming, resistance just becomes stronger. But when you're relaxed, that resistance is the part that falls asleep. I'm just seeing if I'm missing anything in the question. Okay, if you can affirm that all food is safe and good for me, yes. You know, something that might lessen resistance is simply taking it as contemplation, you know? Sit down and contemplate on how would it be if all foods were healthy for me and I could eat anything I wanted and I felt great. How would it be? How would that experience be? Because your mind is still going to imagine that. You know how we say affirm in the positive because, for example, don't think of a pink elephant. You're immediately imagining a pink elephant. So even if you're putting what if, you're still going to imagine, what if I were completely healthy and I could eat all these foods and enjoy it? What if? How would it be? Contemplate on it. Because it still creates images, it still creates feelings. You know, when we have a lot of resistance to these things, I do at least, and I do it with clients also, use tricks to get your mind to get there somehow. Because yes, going to the end is great, but sometimes people have resistance and we need to find a way to still have them manifest what they want, because just because you have desire doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to manifest what you want. So I really hope this helps, and give it a try. And everyone watching, you know, even if you don't have all these big resistances, still do these things because it just makes your work easier. Affirming in a relaxed state, focusing on your affirmations, and affirming that your mind is capable of manifesting health for you even when the doctors say you don't. I think there's something that I want to keep telling you this. Keep telling yourself that your mind is capable of, your body depends on your mind. Your body is doing what your brain is telling it, and your brain is telling it, like the signals that your brain is sending to your body comes from your programming. Whatever your mind is programmed with, those are the signals that your brain is going to send to your body, and your body is going to behave accordingly, which means that you can program your mind to anything. So it's health, it's well-being, it's strength, it's muscles. Did you know that people manifest muscles without working out? Because that's what your mind can do to your body. So having self-talks like that with yourself and becoming completely sure in the fact that this is how it works. And then when you affirm that if all foods you eat are healthy and good for you, that's going to be accepted easier. But do both simultaneously, you know? You don't need to create one assumption before you go to the next assumption. You can do both at the same time. So next question. And this one also has several. Let me see if I'm okay. So this one also consists of several questions. I'm going to read one question at a time and answer it before I go to the next one. So congratulations on quickly breaking through 800. Maybe you will record another Q&A session with over 900 next week. Let's do that. And thank you. So the first question, how do you suggest getting along with the person you are manifesting? Are there any things that I should pay attention to? Yes, you should pay attention to how their behavior is affecting the way you feel about yourself. A lot of self-concept there, but a lot of also assumptions about the person themselves or the relationship itself. So pay attention to how you're feeling in different situations, and that is what you focus on. If you felt disrespected, you affirm that you were respected, or you revise on the spot. I think there was a question about revision on the spot somewhere here. I will get to that. I don't remember who it was or which question it was, but there was something, and this will apply here also. Otherwise, in the 3D, you do your things usually. Just don't react, if you can, to the negative. There's no need to do that. You go inside. You go back to your imagination, to your end goal, to whatever you want to experience. So, next question. Do we need to have feeling of the thoughts or affirmations every time? Does it work to just watch TV sometimes but keep thinking about what we want in our mind because we pay more attention on those thoughts and repeat? I am not a big fan of this watching TV and affirming thing. I can't guarantee you that it works, to be honest. If you're noticing that while watching TV that your mind is going to the negative story, yes, you need to correct your thoughts, bring them to your end goal, but don't do this as a technique. Your mind needs focus, and not necessarily having the feeling every single time you're affirming, but focusing, I would prefer, to be honest. First of all, focus creates feelings, but maybe not every time, which is fine. But I'm really not a big fan of having your mind in two places at once, like watching TV and doing affirmations. I would rather have you do the dishes and do your affirmations, because in that case you can focus on your affirmations. But in any case, whether you're watching TV or doing anything else, you notice your mind is going in the wrong direction, bring it back and correct it. Absolutely, definitely, in any case. But not as a technique, because the TV is going to distract you. You're going to do it half and half. I'm really not a fan of this. It's because I feel like it's a waste of your energy. You might as well take 10 minutes and focus on your affirmations in those 10 minutes. That will be far more efficient for you. The feelings, sometimes you have them, sometimes you don't, but your focus will shift. When you're focused on your affirmations, after a few repetitions, a minute, a couple of minutes, depending, a moment of repeated affirmations with focus, you notice this feeling of, I'm fine, I feel better. That's wonderful. So that's that. And the next question, why does negative manifestation feel more effective and faster, even if we don't always think this way? Because of your programming. We are, we have so many limiting beliefs, unfortunately, because of society, because of a lot of 3D limitations, etc. But it's not because if something feels more effective and faster, it's because you already have those assumptions. manifestation is just that. Whatever is already true for you in your mind is going to manifest, and it's going to manifest quicker and easier and faster. So, by the way, when I say we have so many limiting beliefs and blah blah, as you keep changing your limiting beliefs, you will notice that you will have less and less and less and less, and that's a wonderful journey. And all this manifestation journey is doing exactly that. Every time you're manifesting something, you are shifting from a negative belief to positive one on the subject. So as you keep manifesting consciously, you notice that you just have less negativity in your mind, just in general. So that is why I'm a big fan of you guys manifesting consciously anything you desire, because even if it's a pair of shoes or a bottle of water or what it is, because it's helping you reshape your whole mindset. And with time, you will be less anxious, more confident, and it's really good for you. And the last question here, when you don't see what you want, what can help you regain strength? It seems too many questions. Thank you. You're welcome, and it's okay. When you don't see what you want, what can help you regain your strength? Going back into your imagination on purpose. When you don't see what you want and you keep looking for it, that becomes a habit at some point. And what that habit does is that you will continuously look on the outside, search for it, and you won't see it. You won't find it there. Because if your focus is on the lack, you're going to manifest it more. You need to create the new habit, which can be challenging at first, that because your mind goes where it's used to going easier. So it will continue searching, looking, where is it, why is it not happening? You need to make a conscious decision every time to stop that. Go back into your imagination, reclaim your wish fulfilled, stay there a little bit, and repeat that every time it happens, because then that becomes a habit. That is where you feel most powerful and most strong. That is where your strength is. It's the more you go inside. That also quickens the manifestation process, because then now you're focusing on your wish fulfilled. So now it has to happen. So that was that. And the last set of questions, the revision on the spot is in this one. So, dear Anna, thank you for sharing your wisdom and for the opportunity to ask questions. You are very welcome, and thank you for your questions. I have 3 general questions and 1 specific one. The first one, how did you develop deep trust in the law when you first started as a conscious manifester? How I developed is I started with none. I started with this hope that, oh my God, I wish this is true because it sounds so good. And for a long time, I did a lot of things that weren't working. At some point, I will make a video where this is in my plans, to make a video to tell you how I went from starting to where I got. But you develop trust in the law by manifesting. And if you want to trust, like if you're determined that you want to trust this, you want to know that this is true, then you need to be determined in manifesting. And you can manifest both your important desires and other unimportant things, just to make yourself see that this is how it works. I have manifested so many things, and like I had a period where I would just manifest useless stuff just for the sake of manifesting it. At some point, it becomes like, oh my God, this is getting old. I'm getting it. Okay, I'm doing it. It's me. It's all me. And the more you manifest, the more arsenal you have for your future manifestations also, because at some point in the future, even after you have a lot of experience, you have resistance to something, a doubt that you can do this, you always go back to, but no, wait a minute. I did all these things. I manifested all these things. And also back then, I didn't believe it could happen, but I did the work and it manifested. And it comes down to that in reality. I remember one time I was manifesting something and I cannot remember what I was affirming. I was affirming. And I was walking back and forth in my room, really affirming, really into it. And I was so invested and affirming like I'm telling you to affirm with full focus, but I was completely in it, so much so that at some point it sort of woke up. I was in the experiencing it while I was manifesting. And at some point I woke up, I realized I'm in this room and not where I was affirming I was, not experiencing what I was affirming I was. And this is the shock that Neville Goddard talks about this, that when you have done the work correctly, when you wake up from your imaginal work, it's like, it's a bit of a shock that, ooh, this is where I am. And that's what happened to me. And I thought, oh my God, what if I'm crazy? I genuinely had this thought like, oh my God, what if I'm actually crazy? And then I remembered, wait a minute, no, wait a minute. I did this, exactly this, affirming with full focus, really being into it, being in the experience, back then when I was manifesting this, and all of those things manifested. So no, I'm not crazy, this works. And that helps. So you start with simply deciding that I'm manifesting this, and if I'm manifesting this, I just need to do the work. Then next question, how can I revise on the spot during a conversation? Revision on the spot, everyone. I find it challenging to focus on revising what someone says while staying engaged. I always say that it's so easy to revise on the spot when someone is talking, technically, because you have their voice right there, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. Tell me in the comments, everyone, if you how you find revision on the spot during a conversation. The reason I find it easy technically, in the technical sense of it, is because you have their voice right there, and it's so easy for me to manipulate it to something else. But if you find it challenging, you can wait for them to finish and then revise it quickly. I have never done this. I always do this while the person is talking. Now, I don't know what this is about, but if it's something that you wanted to revise, then it's something that you don't want to experience. Why do you want to engage? You don't need to engage in a conversation that you don't want to manifest more of, that experience of the conversation. You can just say, okay, yeah, I don't know, maybe, yeah. And that makes it easier for you. So yeah, don't engage. Now, I don't want to tell you what to do in your 3D life, but engaging in a conversation that you're revising is doing two opposing things at the same time. I need more details on this one. The next question. Before I go to the next question, for everyone else watching, revision on the spot is a great thing to do when you have something right in front of you that you don't want to experience more of. As it's happening, you go in your mind and you're imagining something else happening right there. And this goes for conversations, this goes for some things that people just tell you, news that they bring to you that you didn't want to hear, traffic, I don't know, whatever else in the 3D. Right there, revise it. What I'm saying is that revision doesn't need to be all this ritual of meditation and sets and all that, which is great. It's great, it works, and it works wonders, but it can be done right there also. So now next question. Would you say it's easier to manifest a new partner rather than a better version of an ex given less resistance or baggage? It depends. First of all, it depends what you want. If you really, really, truly want the person, then it's completely possible to change the story if you're focused on and you do the work, and maybe get help, coaching. But it can be, yes, it can be far easier to manifest a new person. But you need to be really, really careful here. Everyone manifesting SPs and maybe getting tired of the process and your SP and the situation. When you're leaving that situation and you're starting to manifest a new person, you're bringing all your current assumptions with you to that new relationship and that new person. And this is the main reason I always say work on your self-concept. Please don't listen to anyone that says, oh, you don't need to work on your self-concept to manifest an SP, because you can manifest your SP without doing self-concept work. Yes, you can, but you're going to bring your current self-concept with you. So it's going to manifest also. So whatever limiting belief and negative stories that you have right now, they still need to change when you are manifesting a different person. So, and this is the reason people not doing this is the reason when you keep having the same experience with different people. So yes, in that sense, it can be easier. You need to decide what you want the most. But that old story, old experiences that created maybe negative beliefs about relationships for you or yourself, or you name it, your story. Those things need to be replaced so that they don't manifest those things. Those assumptions and beliefs and the stories need to be replaced so that you don't manifest those things in your new relationship. Because if they stay there, they're going to manifest and you're going to end up in the exact same situation, just with a different person. And what that does, the risk is that that's just going to, now maybe not for someone like you who is a conscious manifester and you know how it works, but again, still, the risk is that it all just will reinforce those beliefs that you are always being treated like this in relationships, the relationships are always like that, etc. So, and the fourth question, I recently twisted my finger while doing sports. It didn't hurt much, and I affirmed it was nothing and would heal quickly. I visualized a healthy, fully functional hand as well. I stayed on top of my mental diet and never entertained negative thoughts, which is exactly the right thing to do. And that it would wait a minute, where never entertained negative thought, e.g. that it could be something more serious. However, when I saw the doctor for a bruise, I was shocked to learn that my finger was actually broken. If my mindset was aligned, how could I have manifested this? What am I missing? And how do I proceed from here? Looking forward to your insights. I can hear Neville Goddard's voice saying, who told you your finger was broken? Also, Abdullah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound like I'm laughing at your situation. It was just Neville Goddard in my head. Who told you your finger was broken? A few things here. One thing that Neville Goddard would say is that you're not done with your manifestation. If it's a 3D circumstance, and don't label your manifestation as failed or you didn't manage to manifest. It's always just that you are not done yet. You're not done. This is a bump in the road. That's one thing. Another thing is, for example, revision. But to explain to you why this could have happened, for two reasons. Either you hadn't just yet convinced your mind completely of the reality of your finger being healthy and your hand being healthy and functional, because depending depending on how much you focus and how much you live in the end, the amount of time it takes physical, now we're talking about the physical experience of it, the amount of time it takes for it to sink in can differ. So either for some reason you still hadn't managed to get the story completely in your mind, or there was something going on in your mind that you were not aware of, in the form of, for example, general beliefs. All our general beliefs also manifest. Like, for example, an example is, how many people have you not heard who have this type of assumption that a person looking like that is always an annoying person, or a person looking like that is always nice, or is always like this. Like, we have these super general assumptions that then manifest in a specific situation, and we tend to think that we need to have specific assumptions for that specific thing to manifest. It's not always like that. Very general assumptions manifest also. They always manifest in specific situations. So you could possibly have a general assumption that says that when you do that with your finger, it breaks. And now you're affirming that my finger is healthy and my hand is completely functional. Now you have two contradicting stories, but when you have this general belief that you are maybe not even aware of, then if it's already in your subconscious mind, that is going to manifest. But all that doesn't matter. What matters is that your hand is fully functional and your finger is completely healthy. And you are simply not done with your manifestation until that is your truth. Something that I would really suggest you do here, since you asked me about a revision on the spot, revise that event. You didn't break your finger and it didn't happen. Like, change what happened there. Right before you hurt your finger, you stop the scene and you imagine something else that happened. So that's that. Usually, generally, when things either don't manifest or they take a long time to manifest, a lot of times it hasn't sunk in yet. Sometimes we think it has, but the best way to figure this out is check your automatic thoughts in between your affirmations, in between the techniques that you specifically do. Now, I don't know if you remember that before you went to the doctor, but usually that's such a great indicator for where your mind is actually at. That's that. And other times we have limiting beliefs that we are ignoring, mostly because we are not really aware of them. But in doing the work, these limiting beliefs somehow either dissolve or come up to the surface so that you become aware of them. So I hope that this answered your question, and I have answered all the questions now. Thank you so much for engaging in this wonderful experience with me. I'm really, really grateful for your questions, and I am always happy to answer. Let me know in the comments if I actually answered your questions. I really hope that I clarified things. That's why I'm here. This is what my whole channel is about, to clarify things, to simplify it for you. If you need any additional help for your specific manifestations, I do offer one-on-one coaching. The link is in the description box below. And have a beautiful day, and see you in the next video.